Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down a really powerful story about how our smallest, everyday habits can grow into something way, way bigger, for better or for worse. And really, this one idea, it's at the heart of everything we're talking about today. It's this fundamental lesson about the hidden power of our daily routines and how our choices kind of build on each other over time.
So to really bring this whole concept to life, let's dive into the story of a boy named Ayaan. His experience is this amazing metaphor for the silent battles we all face with our own habits.
You know, every big story has a small beginning, and Ayaan's story is no different. It doesn't start with some huge event, but with a whisper. A simple, everyday choice that, let's be honest, most of us make without even thinking twice.
I mean, come on, who hasn't had this thought? It feels so harmless, right? So innocent. But for Ayaan, this tiny little decision was basically an invitation for something new to come into his life.
And just like that, behind the glow of the screen, a habit is born. It starts out as this tiny, fuzzy, almost cute little thing, something that feels completely under his control. Okay, so what happens when you keep feeding that tiny, fuzzy habit day after day? Well, as you can probably guess, it doesn't stay small for very long. What started as this little creature on day 1 just explodes. By day 5, it's already bigger, it's louder, and by day 10, whoa, it's massive. And it's been doubling its size and its influence with every single day that passes.
And here's where you see the real cost. The monster isn't just getting bigger, it's actively pushing out all the good things in Ayaan's life. It becomes a zero-sum game, right? The more space the habit takes up, the less room there is for anything else. So now, that habit is not a quiet suggestion anymore. It's not a playful little whisper. It's a loud, non-negotiable demand that's completely taken charge of Ayaan's world and is telling him exactly what to do.
Now, let's dig into what's actually going on here on a neurological level, because inside our brains, there is a very real battle taking place.
Think of it like this. Inside your mind, there's this constant tug-of-war. In one corner, you've got Captain Focus. That's the part of you that's all about long-term goals. And in the other corner, you have the habit monster who's just fighting for that instant gratification.
Now, the monster's secret weapon is a chemical called dopamine. The story calls it quick fun, and that's exactly what it is. It's your brain's reward for taking the easy, pleasurable path right now. And that's what makes a bad habit so compelling and so tough to break.
And this all creates this really powerful, self-reinforcing cycle. We call it the habit loop. It starts with a cue, like seeing the screen, that triggers the routine, playing the game, which delivers the reward, that nice little hit of dopamine, and your brain loves that, so it hardwires itself to do it all over again next time.
So how in the world do you break a cycle that's literally designed to keep itself going? Well, it's not about using brute force. It's about spotting and seizing a single, quiet moment.
The story gives us this great metaphor of a glowing door. And what that reminds us is that even when a habit feels totally overwhelming, there is always a tiny gap between the cue, the urge, and the routine, the action. And in that little gap, that's where all our power to choose lies.
And that is the central idea here. Ultimate control doesn't belong to the habit, it belongs to you. The monster feels powerful, for sure, but its power is really just an illusion that you are the one feeding.
You break that old loop by creating a brand new one. The cue, that stays the same. You still feel that urge. But you consciously choose a new routine, something that actually lines up with your long-term goals, whether that's picking up a book, going for a quick walk, whatever. This delivers a totally different and much more lasting reward, a real sense of accomplishment and pride. And here is the magic of how our brains work. When you starve a bad habit of attention and you feed a good one, the actual connection in your brain for that bad habit gets weaker. You aren't really fighting it, you're just replacing it. And with every good choice, that monster shrinks and shrinks until eventually, poof, it just disappears.
Okay, so this brings us to the final big picture takeaway from this whole story.
This is the ultimate moral of the story, really. The person you're going to become tomorrow, or next month, or 10 years from now, that person is being determined by the countless, seemingly insignificant choices that you're making today.
So as we close out, just remember, this isn't about fighting some giant, scary monster. It's about the small, quiet choices. It's about deciding which tiny seed you want to plant for your own future. So the real question is, what good habit will you choose to feed today?